Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about my military service. This is not going to be some action-loaded story about someone becoming a special forces member and then going to war. So if you want that, go watch someone else's video. This is going to be about what I experienced and how I experienced things during my time in the army. Enjoy. I want to start at the very beginning of my military career, so let's start with my recruitment. I remember being really excited when I opened the first letter I received. It was one of these letters every male person in my home country gets once they're 18. However, the letter said I should report at my nearest recruiting center. I collected a lot of information about what exactly would happen during these 2 days of recruitment, and I got really nervous. There were these questions like, would I make it through the physical exam? Will they find out that I've been ill for a long time during my childhood and teenage years? Will they just put me into some boring office job because the only thing I'd have worked as so far was a constructor for high-racking systems? I couldn't find good answers to any of these questions, so I decided that the only thing I could really do about it is training. So I went jogging every day until I had to go. I wouldn't say I pushed myself to the limit really, but I was pretty proud of myself. So about 2 months after receiving this letter, I had to go. I remember walking through these doors along with a lot of other equally scared looking guys. Felt really weird. However, these 2 days of recruitment went by very fast. I somehow managed it to get through all the required tests and exams. The last thing everyone has to go through is a quick interview with some lieutenant colonel. So now this guy would decide where he wanted to put me. And of course his first question was, so you used to work as a constructor, right? I answered yes. He said, so I think it's best to keep you inside of an office. I said something like, please sir, I'm gonna do everything except sitting on my ass all day. And at first he said, no way, we need people like you to do office jobs, but I just kept saying no and bitched around a little bit, so he finally stopped trying to talk me into it and said, alright, enough. He then turned to his computer and without any further words he typed the word infantry into my file. I was so excited that I couldn't wait until I got back, so I called my parents on my way home. Becoming an infantryman, a fusilier, made me really proud because my dad used to be one too, like 20 years ago. So several months later the day had come and I had to go to basic training. So after saying goodbye to my parents, I took a train to where I was supposed to go, and I remember the time going by very, very fast. So 2 hours of traveling felt more like 10 minutes. So I reached my final destination and got off the train and was standing on the platform with a bunch of other new recruits when suddenly 2 guys in uniform approached us saying, "Move to the buses and be quiet." So we got into one of the buses, and once all the seats were occupied we drove to a sports hall. We had to line up and move into the building. Once inside we were divided out to one of 4 platoons. We were then once again told to shut up and learn how to stand in a position of attention and rest, as well as learning the names of all the different ranks. Shortly after that, some general showed up and gave a speech about us being the future of the best army in the world and so on. Typical army propaganda. After this little opening ceremony, pictures were taken and our platoon and squad leaders introduced themselves. Our platoon leader looked like a nice guy, but some of the squad leaders looked and acted like they had seen Full Metal Jacket one too many times. We had no idea. The rest of the day was pretty chill compared to others. It contained a lot of getting yelled at and lectures about rights and duties. So it was already getting dark when we were moved to the barracks, which was a small air raid shelter with bunk beds and only 4 showers for about 100 men. At 9 p.m. we were ordered to turn the lights off and go to sleep. None of us were talking anymore, and I remember this thought in my head like, am I fucking nuts doing this voluntarily? So that was the first part of this series. I hope you enjoy this type of video, and if so, let me know. Also, share your stories in the comments if you want to. Have a good one. the Worldologist. Bye.